Assalamu alaikum. So here we are with chapter 5 of Salahuddin. Um, let's get into it. Chapter 5, Defeat and Victory. Salahuddin's army marched out of Cairo singing war songs. A young soldier riding beside Salahuddin asked, "Why do the Franks hold Jerusalem when it's so holy for us Muslims?" "It's a very long story," said Salahuddin. "The problem is that the city of Jerusalem is holy for the Franks too. Isa a.s. lived much of his life in the city, and also died there. Jerusalem is the most important place of pilgrimage for people from Europe. But when the Turks took it in 1071, it was more difficult for Europeans to visit. They were angry about that, and they decided that they wanted Jerusalem back. They called their campaign a crusade. They came from across the sea, and in 1099 they took the holy city. They killed nearly everyone in the place. Now, after almost 100 years, many Franks are born in Palestine, and they think that it's their home. Of course, as you know, Jerusalem is a holy place for Muslims too, because of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ traveled from there up into the sky to meet God and the prophets. Also, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, Masjid, Masjid Al-Aqsa, is one of the oldest holy places of Islam. It's wrong that the Franks are using the building as a church and praying in it. Nur al-Din wanted to bring Muslims together to win it back, and I want to make his great hope come true." Planning this new campaign, Salahuddin remembered Shirkuh saying, "Never waste time, march quickly, and take the enemy by surprise." At first, Salahuddin's soldiers followed his orders. They were fast and deadly. The Frankish knights weren't ready, and the Muslims won without trying very hard. But then, Salahuddin's men slowed down and stopped being careful. They thought that they could take Jerusalem without any trouble. Boys, a crusade is a holy war or like a jihad, okay? Peace, you guys know what peace is. Amen. And a mosque is the French word for masjid. King Baldwin the Leper was only 16 when he learned that Salahuddin's army was attacking Palestine, and there was no one to stop them. He called all his knights together from their castles with letters that his soldiers carried secretly through the Muslim army lines. It was a dangerous plan, but it worked. The Franks arrived to help their king, and they surprised Salahuddin's army at Ramallah. Salahuddin's soldiers had to run to escape, and the Franks nearly killed Salahuddin. It was a very bad defeat, and after it, many emirs no longer wanted to be in Salahuddin's army. So what happened? They were attacked by the Frankish forces, and the guys who lost, they wanted to leave Salahuddin. Salahuddin told his men, "Thinking that Baldwin the Leopard is weak because he's young and ill was a mistake. We'll have to work harder to take Jerusalem. Some of you must ride the fastest camels to Cairo to tell the Egyptians that we're safe. We've lost a battle, but we can win the war if we fight together." The only good news for Salahuddin was that after Ramallah, Baldwin's army wasn't ready to keep fighting. "But we must do something to stop him," Baldwin said to his knights. "Make all your castles strong, and next time we'll be ready for the enemy." So, sorry, back here. A defeat is an army loss, and a camel, guys, is a large animal that people use for traveling across a very dry country. It's kind of like a horse, but it's got like a bump on the back. I don't know if you've ever seen one. The knights decided to build a new castle on the Jordan River. King Baldwin said, "Don't build at Jacob's Ford. Franks and Muslims live on both sides of the river, and everyone can cross the Jordan freely there. We'll have trouble if we change things." But the knights didn't listen and built the castle there. And in 1179 there was a fight about the land. During the battle, a small group of Salahuddin's soldiers nearly caught King Baldwin. Old Humphrey of Toron helped his king escape, but the knight was badly wounded and died. Salahuddin, now 41, was sad. "Humphrey was my good friend in Alexandria after that terrible siege finished. He was a chivalrous man and a brave knight. I wish that more Franks could be like him." After the Battle of Jacob's Ford, Salahuddin sent his army in small groups to attack Palestine. "It'll be easy to catch Salahuddin's men when they come back," Baldwin said. "They'll be tired, and we can fight small groups of soldiers and win." Near the Litani River, they met some of Salahuddin's men on their way home. Baldwin's knights quickly won the battle, but before they knew it, Salahuddin and the rest of the army arrived. Salahuddin's soldiers killed hundreds of Franks and caught many of their important knights. 3 years later, Baldwin and Salahuddin agreed to stop fighting for a while, but the peace was short. One of Baldwin's knights, Reynaud of Chatillon, was a man who was hungry for gold and for power. Do you guys remember him from the last story? The last Salahuddin? Reynaud, okay? He's a bad guy. When he married, his wife gave him Kera Castle, which looked down on the road that ran between Damascus and Mecca. This castle made it easy for him to attack Muslim pilgrims and to take their money from them. "Reynaud, you are breaking the peace," King Baldwin told him angrily. "We have promised the Muslims that the pilgrims' road will be safe." "Your promise doesn't worry me. Anyone crossing my land must pay," said Reynaud. Salahuddin thought that Reynaud was a man without honor, and he decided to stop him. He marched to Kerak with his men. But when Salahuddin was just going to attack the castle with siege engines, he heard that Isabella of Jerusalem was marrying the grandson of his old friend Humphrey of Toron. "There, find out where the party will be," he said to his soldiers. "I don't want to hit that side of the building." To thank Salahuddin for this, Isabella sent food to the men in his army. Later, King Baldwin went to help Reynaud. Together they ended the siege and pushed Salahuddin and his army back. After this, Reynaud went on attacking Muslim pilgrims. "We must stop Reynaud and the Franks," Salahuddin said to his generals, "but we must make them fight in open country. They're too strong in their castles." So let's see what's